what a moment this is for Scott Fletcher. First time out in this main arena, playing two of the form players of Ultimate Pool over the last couple of seasons, Dom Cooney and Luke Gilbert. Formidable singles players and formidable as a pairing. I talked to both of the Fletcher brothers before this. They both seem very excited to be out there, as well they should. And how's this for a first break? This match being played race to 4, 20-minute match clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock for the first portion of the match, dropping down to 15 seconds when we get into the last 5 minutes. We're playing a combination of Scotch doubles and singles. So first frame of Scotch, 2 frames of singles, and then back to the Scotch again. So alternate shots. Scott Fletcher's good break there. Let his brother in to take the yellow balls. I think, Jimmy, the key here is just to get off to a good start. When you're not familiar with that arena, just a nice simple clearance to get your arm going is exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what a chance to do it. A great break. You know, these are as good as you'd want them ever to land at any point of any match. And you certainly fancy him knocking it in, although he's not played the best of shots there. He's left himself something to do, but...
Yeah, this is the first testing shot for Liam. Can just roll this in if he wants to. Could decide to punch it in a bit firmer. Just slightly off the natural angle, and that's why he's missed by quite a margin. It's that previous shot really that left him in that position, but hasn't got very close to that pot. I think understandably there's going to be a bit of nerves. Those kind of shots where you're just trying to just dig gently into the cue ball but not hit it too hard. It's just very easy to decelerate and get across the ball. For these two, this is absolute bread and butter. And this is the advantage of being the higher ranked player. You do generally find that people from time to time will throw you opportunities you're probably not expecting to get.
It's gone a little bit further than he wanted to, I think, that one.
Players having a bit of fun already, as they foreshadowed that they would. Luke showing where he wanted the cue ball to be. So he had to bend the cue ball. Oh, he's cued that really well. Just had to play with a bit of side to bend it, and also still got enough backspin on it to draw the cue ball back. Back in absolutely prime position now. This is exactly what the Fletchers didn't want to happen. In first, any mistake they know is going to be punished. It was a mistake of their own making. And a pretty simple first opportunity for the two top seeds in the group. But if anything, that can be a positive sometimes, the fact everything happens so quickly. A lot of tonight is going to be played on autopilot. Well, more experienced player almost comes up dry, but when the last ball's rolling does find the left centre. These guys know that even though they're favourites for this group, nobody is that big of a favourite in this format. Getting your first match on the board is just so big. It means that you're pretty much always in contention for something going into the last match of the night. Decent chance this for Dom. The only red that's in a slightly awkward position is the one near the left centre, but it's not too badly tied up. Also, when you see it from that angle, a little bit of work to be done to get nicely on the red that's below the 8 ball, but I wouldn't see that posing too much of a problem.
Just having a look whether that red on the left-hand rail closest to that yellow there goes without actually having to disturb it. I'm not sure it does. He's got to land perfect on it if he does. I think I'll be opting to maybe go into it. Roll this one in now into the top right pocket as we're now looking at the table, and then screw down and just knock it into play, because you're going to be guaranteed a shot on your last red in bulk. Well, that has surprised me. He obviously thinks it goes. It certainly goes off the face of the red over the pocket if he keeps it there, but he's got work to do. I don't think I'd have been going this way.
Has he gone far enough? We saw him come round to look at where he wanted that cue ball. He was pointing a lot further down the table. He knew as soon as he's hit that, you can see him kind of urging it through. Exaggerated follow through after the ball had long gone away.
Yeah, I think he put all his eggs in one basket a little bit there, Mark, to be honest. I think if he'd have gone the way that I said, he'd have kind of been guaranteed a shot on this one down the bottom of the table. But anywhere high on it on the left-hand side, he was fine. But he hands over the table, nothing easy, but back to the table nonetheless.
You'd have to say that's probably an advantage of playing a pair that haven't been out in this arena too much. Bailing out of that kind of clearance against the top pro would maybe not have felt too comfortable. I think you've got to think putting your opponent in a position where they've got to go for something difficult is probably a decent tactic.
Oh, what a shot this is. Oh, fish that out.
Well, I tell you what, Scott Fletcher has played two great shots already this match. His break in the first frame and then followed by that excellent ball down the rail.
What a shot that is.
That kind of
Dom,
shot, if you're directly behind it, is one thing, but from the distance he played it at.
Well, Dom was on his feet. Dom was like, well, okay, well, I'm going to get back to the table here, and nope, not quite yet. Stay there, Dom. That's another nice shot. He couldn't, could he, from here?
Maybe sometimes when you let slip a chance you feel you shouldn't, it just gives you that little bit of extra spring in your step. You feel you've got to go for it the next time. He's got to play one more good shot to get to the yellow that's on the left-hand rail.
Going to go into it now. Well.
Well, he's got a choice here. Does he think it goes down the rail, or is he going to try and bump into it off this shot?
I think he has to try and bump, surely. Oh. Oh, what a shot that is. Is he okay? From above, he doesn't seem to think so. No, not quite. It's unlucky.
Yeah,
it was a very, very good effort. And even if he manages to trickle this in, he's not going to be on his last yellow.
That's a tough break, isn't it? If that ball rolls 1 inch further down the table, he's perfect.
Yeah, one extra turn there, he's absolutely perfect.
But it's not like he can even play it long, because that red's now come across and blocked that pocket. Seems comfortable with the conditions. Call his extension at the right moment there. He's going to have to try and play some kind of containing shot.
I tell you what, that's a really clever shot. I like that. That is a great shot. That is a really good shot.
That's some good stuff already, Scott Fletcher. He's got Dom under a bit of pressure. I suppose helped by the fact that I don't think the yellow on the left side goes easily. May go bottom left, but it's not into a full pocket. So if he leaves the cue ball anywhere at the top of the table, he's not going to be leaving too much. He's left a thin clip on the ball bottom right.
He's also left on a double. Double on the yellow. He's just going to drop into this, bring it off the rail and just leave the cue ball behind the 8 so he doesn't leave the one over the top pocket. That's what he's played. And he's played it well. Yeah, I like that shot as well. Dom's under pressure here. I think he might have left it. From the overhead it looks like it goes, but for behind it I'm not sure it does. It clearly doesn't, I think. The way that Dom's looking at it.
From the way these last shots have played out, you wouldn't know that Dom was the more experienced player. Scott Fletcher has played the right shot and he's played it well. And now he's got his chance. Dom had got into a tricky position there and he's not found a way out of it. Yeah, you can see written across his face, he knows he's left a decent chance now. Did the right thing there, played it in a positive way. It's very easy to dribble into those thinking that they're bound to drop and then they just roll offline slightly. So just one more good shot to play to get position onto the 8-ball. Oh, he'd love this just to roll a couple more inches up the table.
Yeah, he's okay there, he's fine. Just got to trickle this in.
Great chance this to level the match up. Oh, good play from Scott Fletcher. He played a good frame there when he needed to.
He did. Tactically there, he was very good, wasn't he? He played a couple of great shots and put Dom right under the cosh.
So we are playing the golden breaks and golden ducks. So if you put the 8-ball off the break, you win, unless you also put the cue ball when you lose the frame. Well, he's potted the white, but he hasn't potted the 8-ball, so it will be too little too late for Liam Fletcher here. He hasn't got time to clear these balls up. And they're 2 frames behind. Oh, well, he's miscued as it happens. I think he's not sure if he's allowed to concede the frame at this point, but this is obviously all going to be academic. Well, moments this could have been different. Liam and Scott had chances. Scott made a good clearance in the second frame. And now it's time to showboat for Dom Cooney. So he goes over to offer the handshake. Luke Gilbert and Dom Cooney do what everyone expected. They start off well and they win their first match by 3 frames to 1. Nice touch there from Steve. Shout out to his wife on her birthday. Let's hope he can do her justice by getting a win. Their opponents, the Gillespie brothers. And it's Jimmy Gillespie to break in the first frame. And much like the first match, great first break.
Yeah, quite like kind of the way they come across, these guys, and they've said, you know, they've got an arena in their club, so they're a little bit more used to, you know, playing the shot clock, that kind of thing. So that may help them for sure. And while we're on the subject, from all of us here at Ultimate Pool, happy birthday, Mrs. Singh. It's always nice to get a little shout out, isn't it? So that was a really nice touch from Steve. Always been a class act, Steve. Always been a really nice guy. One of the guys that always gives you the time of day on the tour. Right, this is the shot. Just going to try and go into it. Bit of left-hand side on this, arc it into the red. Played on the double. Does the double go? Not sure it does, you know, past the yellows, it's going to be tight. Chop it down the rail, I think. Tell you what.
That's a good shot.
I'll tell you what. Now then, what about the 8? Does the 8 go top left? Again, tight. Does he play it off the yellow? Hold on to your hats, ladies and gents.
Wow, it looks like he's considering top right. You'd have thought top left would be better if it went. Oh, he's trying to cut it in the middle.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy shot, that. That was not easy.
Oh, what a finish that would have been. That would have been such a moment. That would have been a great breaking clearance had they completed it. It's always difficult though when you miss the last ball. Your opponent's welcome to the table in an easier position. 2 vastly experienced opponents. Kind of opponents that are just never going to give you an easy game. Still got the one problem ball on the left-hand side cushion, just in the edge of the shot there. Quite purposeful, don't they? Getting down quickly to continue this visit. Oh,
well.
What a mistake that is from Steve Singh.
Wow.
And Jimmy Gillespie can barely contain his joy. He's racing to the table. And that's just an amazing feeling when you're in that kind of position when you've missed the 8-ball once and you think you're going to get messed around at best or probably lose the frame. To get given the ball in hand, such a relief. And goes for a slightly different style of break from some. Tries a bit more to park the cue ball rather than screwing it back. Queuing down a bit on this break, which is a hard break to time.
Right up the centre of the spots, though. Big opening shot for Itan here. What a shot that is.
Very good potter, Patel. Great single ball cueist. He's one of those players that just kind of goes about his business, sometimes slips a bit under the radar. He's currently just inside the top 32 of the pro rankings, which tells a story because it's a tough school there. To hold on to a top 32 spot, you've got to consistently achieve results, and that's exactly what he's done this season. Balls do all have a pocket, so he's going to go up the table next, top left, and then try and leave an angle on the one top right to come back down. And even that was a better shot than it looks. If you're not experienced out on this match table, it's very easy to misjudge those kind of gentle screw shots when you just want to come back a roll or two. You can either get no spin at all or end up coming back way too far.
Definitely wanted to be on that one that he's looking at. He's not quite there, but should be okay.
Got a very idiosyncratic style. You see him queuing up there, such a light grip on the cue. Barely looks like he's holding it at all. You wouldn't think you'd be able to generate that much power, but he actually can get a lot of spin on the ball when he needs to.
The size of his tip's humongous, and he's punched that in at such a pace. I mean, I think I've just been soft stunning that in. He's smashed it in. Nice finish in the end. An important frame. Steve there just asking if you can use an extension before break. Fair question. There's no such thing as a daft question, as they say, Mark.
No, well, it's a fair question as it happens, because if he could have just wasted another 15 seconds, it would have changed the dynamic. Now, for Colin Gillespie, he's got time here. What he can't do is miss. He doesn't have to rush this, but he's got to get this clearance in this visit. He's not going to have time to play any kind of safety exchange. Is he going to play a plant here?
He's got to hit this hard, just make sure he gets it out. For the double. Oh, he got the double as well. He got it. Oh,
that could have been a big finish. If that cue ball rattles around the bottom jaws and somehow he ends up on the one at the bottom, it could have been on there. Always tracking for the middle of the pocket though. And now Steve's obviously going to call the extension. He doesn't need to be thinking about how he's going for a finish. This is just a case of using some time up. What he wants to do is just spend a few seconds potting a couple of loose balls. He's not going to rush anything. Now he's got 2 easy balls to start with. The match is dead. Slightly tough this for Colin and Jimmy Gillespie. Did go 2-0 up. Very much like the first match where Liam and Scott Fletcher had chances. The underdogs could have done something. Not to be though. The more experienced pairing of Hitan Patel and Steve Singh dig very deep as they needed to in that match. Claw their way back into it. open up a 3-frame to 2 lead, which was ultimately enough to win. It is the two brothers, Fletcher and Fletcher, take on Gillespie and Gillespie. Both of them had chances. They both ended up losing to more experienced opponents in their first matches, but either game could have gone either way. And now this becomes a must-win game. If this does go to a result rather than a draw, whoever wins will still be in play. They'll be in contention for this group, but whoever loses will be mathematically out, whatever the other results. This, I guess, is the chance really for both of these players. These are the two inexperienced pairs, so this is the most level match that we're going to see them involved in tonight. I like what I've seen from both pairs in terms of the way they've gone about it. They've both come here with a positive attitude, look like they're determined to enjoy themselves and try and play some good pool along the way.
Yeah, you know, both pairs have had chances, haven't they? You know, they've you know, it's just them little errors that, like I say, it's the better players, you know, on paper always tend to find a way to win the majority of the time, and that's exactly what's happened. It's been a tale of that. Just find a way. And I think that, you know, as I said out in the studio with you, Mark, that's what separates, you know, your Tom Cousinses and, you know, from kind of the rest is that way to win. They find a way to get over the line. It's not that, you know, I mean, Tom's been by far the most dominant player over the last sort of 12 months. But it's not that he's like head and shoulders above everyone, I don't think, you know, and that's no disrespect to Tom. Obviously, he's world class. He's one of the best ever, but he's not head and shoulders. He's just a better winner than everyone else. Can he do what other players can do with a cube up? You know, probably, you know, not. You know, and people might disagree with me, but I think it's just a case of, you know, being more consistent. It's not necessarily about the standard of pool that's played, because I think there's a lot of players out there, even at the amateur level, who are very, very capable from a natural ability point of view of doing damage. It's just whether they do it on a consistent basis.
I was having exactly that conversation with Scott Fletcher before the match started. He was saying how much he liked Tom Cousins as a player, and we were reflecting on what the difference was. Scott was saying one of the things that he and his brother are enjoying is the fact they feel like they're still at the stage of their game where they're improving. They're obviously young guys. They've been playing at the top level for a long time. And it's kind of exciting when you're still at that stage. You feel like you've got more potential to come. Obviously the top pros have been around a long time. You kind of get to a level, you know, maybe you get in better form or worse form at any moment, but sometimes you feel like you're plateauing a bit. Slightly scrappy this frame.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, not anymore.
Hold on to your hats. Anyone hurt? At least they're having a good laugh out there, which is also important, isn't it?
Well, it is, because how many people would love this chance? Like everyone that watches this show on a Monday evening, I'm sure, has visualised themselves being out in this arena. For these guys, these chances don't come along very often. They've got to enjoy the moment. I think already we've seen enough from both pairs. They'll both be able to take some positives from the night, regardless of what happens, and they've still got 2 full matches pretty much to go. They've all played their part in what we've seen so far. This is a good chance. I feel like this is what both sides need, really, just to get some chances in open play. Tall guy, Liam Fletcher, you see, you have to bend both legs, which is sort of an unconventional technique, but kind of unavoidable if you're that height. Not a bad shot. We'd like ideally to have got a little bit closer, but it's got a nice angle. Fairly natural position onto the last red. Just going to keep his head still, focus on cueing this ball. Doesn't need to do much with the white.
Almost lost the cue ball there. That's just a reflection of how quick this table is.
Didn't try and do too much with the 8 ball there. Knew he was always going to have a fairly natural position to the centre. So just this ball. Looks so easy, doesn't it, from that angle? Like, how could you ever miss a ball like that? But it's the pressure of the situation sometimes. Just tickles it in off the near jaw, but it does drop. It's broken well in this group so far, Jimmy Gillespie. Another good break. You can see playing with an American style breaking cue with a bigger tip on it. Still trying to time the break. Sometimes there's a temptation that you just hit it too hard, but I think the reason he's getting a good split is he's hitting it hard, but he's not throwing himself at it. He's still getting through the ball.
No. It's a poor miss. Seemed to play that a little bit quick there. Seemed to deliver the cue through very, very quickly. I think he was a little bit uncertain whether he was going to find the middle pocket. Maybe panicked a little bit, especially with what happened before when he screwed it off.
What we've seen so far, you would say that the Fletchers have probably been the more composed of the two pairs. Gillespie's have played some good shots. Oh, I see it.
Played out of turn.
Yeah. Wow. It's not often we see that.
Oh, what's happened there? Couldn't have played out of turn. It's not pairs.
Yeah, it's playing a single throw. I don't know if he called a foul on himself. He seemed to be looking up almost like he was trying to understand whether he'd fouled himself.
Not 100% sure what happened there. I'm a bit bemused.
Will it be decisive? Well, let's have a look at what did happen there. Not quite clear what's happened, but either way, Jimmy Gillespie will be happy enough. Needs to get this done though. Doesn't want to get to the position where he's chasing too many chances around. Played some really good shots, just need to be a little bit more clinical.
Oh, have they played out of turn? Was it the other brothers' singles match? That sounds more probable to me. So they have played out of turn in essence.
Well, if that was the case, we'll find out afterwards, because we'll see who's up in the next one. Either way, Jimmy Gillespie is just happy to be at the table, and he's happy to have this almost straight shot at the 8 ball.
Question is, whose hand does he shake?
Well, he doesn't know, does he?
He don't chance it. He don't chance it. Doesn't know.
So Jimmy Gillespie to break in the 4th frame. He's had 3 good breaks already today, but not on this occasion. Not a bad split, but nothing down.
Extension called.
So it's been a while since we've seen Scott Fletcher at the table. Confusion over whose shot it was meant that he effectively missed his frame. It's obviously hard to read the dynamics from the brief encounter we've had so far, but you might say that Scott is taking a slightly more leading role in this, although his brother played some good stuff in that last frame. Oh, that's a good shot.
It's a lovely shot.
Just had to make that angle, it wasn't completely natural, just nipped it in. Not quite as intended, but still got a shot. So he's going to par through to the ball bottom left. Just a case of playing into an area where he can get access to the remaining 2 balls.
Or does it chop back to the middle? I don't think it does it?
Yeah, I don't think it was playing to cannon that red. It seems to have come a lot wider than expected. Can you make it off the red? No.
Putting the red to the rail.
It's the safety. Well, has he done enough? He's left the Gillespie's on an easy enough opening pot.
Certainly asked a question, hasn't he? So
I don't think asking questions is a bad thing in this format. When you're playing opponents that are clearly a bit inexperienced, having them chase after a finish is by no means the worst outcome.
I think I'll be laying the snooker here. No, he's not. Going for it.
Time is becoming a factor.
Oh, what a bad miss. Didn't expect that.
Yeah, if he was going to go for that, he had to get it. He had an angle to pop the ball to the middle afterwards and free the other one.
I just think with him going away from the top end of the table there, just with that shot. Tell you what, he's played this one. Oh, he couldn't have landed any better. He's not played that shot, I don't think. I think he's tried to come around the back of it out the other side, but he's landed perfect. Could have put that better with your hands.
And now, effectively, this 8 ball for the match. There is going to be about a minute remaining, but absent a golden break, that won't be long enough to win the 2 frames that Colin and Jimmy Gillespie need. So make sure of this 8 ball. Ooh, almost a time foul, but did just play the shot in time. Welcome back to the action for the top of the table clash between Luke Gilbert, Dom Cooney, Hitan Patel and Steve Singh. Both of these pairs won their first match. And they are considered on paper to be the 2 favourites for this group. So you would feel that this match between them could well be defining of our night. Slightly unfortunate that. It was flirting with the right centre pocket. And then the ball ran all the way along the rail into the top corner.
I think it just showed you how much side he actually had on the ball and how unclean he hit it really, because he has got one of the better breaks, Luke, I think, on the circuit, and he's that much side on the ball. As soon as it's hit that rail, it's just spanned straight into the top pocket. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but if you look at the player, it's a bad break for it, but by his standards.
Very welcome chance for Hitan and Steve here. They looked good in their first match. They certainly dug deep, but did end up 2-0 down against Colin and Jimmy Gillespie. They're probably going to need to raise their game a little bit to beat Dom and Luke here.
Yeah, you certainly think it might be a different story if they were to 2-0 deficit against these 2.
Let's have another look at this. Just trying to, well, I don't know, was he trying to borrow a bit of the pocket, or did he just quit on that?
It's kind of, I don't know whether he thought it might have rolled out a little bit against the net, but it certainly curled into the pocket slightly there. But obviously if you catch a little finger mark or anything, that can happen.
Was Cooney and Gilbert's break, but after that in-off may have expected to lose the frame. This is a different match for both pairs here. It's a kind of odd game when you're playing inexperienced opponents where outcomes are unpredictable. This time the outcome's not unpredictable. If you miss balls like that, you're going to get punished by top quality professionals like the gentlemen in the opposite chairs. No problem with the balls at the top of the table. They're just going to have to find an angle at some stage to come down the left-hand side play position on the 2 balls that he's queuing over at the moment. And in fact was able just to play that thick enough to screw back now.
It's probably landed as bad as what it could have landed, really. Didn't want to be right under the cushion here.
And And that's the only reason he missed that. If that cue ball was a couple of inches off the cushion, that ball would have been pretty much unmissable for a player of Hitton's quality. So, players in both chairs currently comparing notes on how they've managed to miss their last 2 shots. Looked tight, but didn't have a full pocket to play for. So it's all about how he gets on these balls that he's just pointing out with his cue now.
Ooh, close to enough. Wow. What a strange first frame.
Yeah, it's like everyone realises the importance of this frame. I mean, it's unlucky obviously to end up in off the line he's taken, but he wasn't quite on the right line. Any cannon with that yellow was never going to serve him well. So Steve trying to leave himself an angle. I think he probably wants to come off the cushion and flick the red out of the way. May just go straight into the red.
Yeah, nice shot. Didn't want to flick it too thin there and knock it to the rail, because then it covers the 8 ball into the top left-hand pocket, so had to mind his work. Same here, doesn't want to flick the red to the rail. And there you go, he has. And all of a sudden the 8 ball doesn't go. It's a bad shot, really.
Hindsight might have been better playing it firmer and coming on and off the rail. It's easy to say once you've seen the shot, though. You can leave an angle here. Well, that's not the best shot. Could have done with being a little bit further from the cushion. That's just about was an angle.
I think I'd be tempted to just screw up now and just play the double.
Yeah, it's not an easy angle to manufacture for the cannon.
And that's what he's played.
Big shot now for Steve Singh.
Do you play the reverse double, or do you play the normal double and bring the cue ball down the table here, just to kind of give yourselves 2 options rather than all the eggs in one basket? The reverse double's easier. Oh, well, there you go, see. But he's just going to be in a world of trouble now. But he could do with playing it in a way that kind of covers any kind of escape for the 8.
Exactly as you say there was a choice between the easier double and the shot that was more likely to get a second prize. It's going to be in a lot of trouble if they play this shot properly.
Needs it to stop. You see, he tried to block the path there, so Iten couldn't come off 2 rails and hit the 8. He has left. Well, it's not bad, but he's certainly left the path. Top rail with a little bit of left-hand side rail, and in between the cushion and the red. If he hits it, I think they win the frame. Just got to play this with a little bit of left-hand side though for me.
Yeah, he's looking at what you'd say, the sort of parallel shift way of lining the shot up. It's a good aiming system if you get it, but it's not the easiest one to judge from the position he's in.
It's close.
Oh, that was a good effort.
Unlucky.
So Luke looking to leave Dom up on the ball, up the rail next. Well, either way is fine. He's actually played for the other one first. So nothing to do positionally, just got to make sure he pots this ball. Wow, it was a long frame. It's taken 7 minutes to get it completed, but a simple 8 ball for Dom Cooney. Well, it's a frame that was going to be annoying for whichever of the players lost it. Both had quite a few chances there. It's going to have to be, well, he's had to go the other way. It doesn't feel like he can see enough with the red.
What a shot that is. Where's he going to go now? Does that go?
Well, if he gets this clearance, he's earned it. This has been tough stuff, shot after shot.
Off the yellow. This is some shot. This will be shot of the night for me. If he gets this.
Could have just missed the first yellow, play off the second one. What a shot from Dom Cooney, and where's the white going?
Oh, here we go. Right. This is where Team Blessed usually comes into its own. Are we going to get a Dom Cooney special?
Feels like the frame deserves one, but Ethan and Steve are going to be desperately hoping he doesn't find a way.
If he gets this, it'll be something spectacular.
Ooh,
Oh.
not far off. Don't know if he had quite enough pace on that to make it, in truth. So, time to go to work for Steve Singh. This match is slipping away a bit, despite the fact he's only 1-0 down. Just wants to get back on level terms, and then we're going to have about 4 minutes for the match to be decided. The referee announcing the 15-second shot clock. It's not going to bother Steve from this position because there isn't a lot to think about. 15 seconds is plenty. Where it becomes more difficult is when you get into any kind of intricate tactical position. Could be a big moment, that. If Dom Cooney doesn't snooker himself and gets out there, 2-0 would have been massive, whereas now there's not really anything to choose between the players.
Didn't want to be off angle. He's going to be slightly. I mean, it's not an issue. It's over the pocket, but just going to drop it in, I think. Oh, I'm amazed he's gone up and down the table there. I mean, it's a great shot, but so much can go wrong with that. So risky.
Frame that for a moment it didn't look like either team wanted to win. We
Oh,
can.
oh.
Ooh, for a moment.
He needs to go. They need to go. Chance here.
Yeah,
Great chance here.
they've got time. They could do this.
That's a great shot as well. Left the angle. Perfect. Stop, 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 stop. No, no, middle, middle, middle. Oh, no.
Oh, good shot from Hitton.
Lovely.
Needed to hold for the ball at this end. This is on. Oh, they couldn't, could they? What a clearance this would be. Oh, just a bit thin. So Steve Singh just needs to race round. Has he got time to pot this 8-ball? Go on.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe it. Wow. The drama that this competition brings.
Steve Singh could and should have nicked that at the death, but just comes up short, and it's a very relieved Dom Cooney and Luke Gilbert that exit the arena. 2-1 was good enough at the end. They are straight back out into the arena in an absolute must-win match against Liam Fletcher and Scott Fletcher. Both of these two teams can theoretically still qualify from this group, both on 2 points, but Luke Gilbert and Dom Cooney are ahead on 4 at the moment, so they'd have to rely on other results going their way.
I think from a neutral point of view, we always want to see a 6-red shootout, don't we? But
yeah, if that last 8-ball had gone in for Steve Singh, I think the chance of a 6-red shootout would have been quite high. They were, the two big teams in the group would have been tied on 3 points. Luke Gilbert and Dom Cooney, as they watch on from the safety of the bar, are no doubt enjoying themselves because they're in pole position to qualify and they've got one match to come against some relatively inexperienced opponents who they'll, I imagine, be hoping to have a decent chance of beating if it does come down to needing to do that.
I can't ever think I've heard the words safety and ball be used in the same sentence, Mark, but I know what you mean. We'll call it the lounge. Let me call it the lounge for now. Yeah, I know what you mean. They'll be sitting comfortably, probably having a little giggle that black didn't drop in, because if it does, like you say, it just opens things up. But they're now in the driving seat and takes a little bit of pressure off as they're now obviously guaranteed a 6-red shootout, aren't they? So it's the, you know, at minimum they're going to get an opportunity to win tonight.
This is a match where both teams need to get a result. A draw does nothing for
What a shot
either
that
of
is.
these pairs.
That's a beautiful shot from Mitan. Lovely shot. Not sure what he can do with his bottom red. I don't know if it pops to the bottom right-hand pocket as we look at the table. Right-hand pocket closest to us. It may pass in there. It must do if they're looking at that sort of angle.
Yeah, just trying to leave an angle high on the ball to the right centre to have the cue ball drift naturally down the left-hand side of the table. Yeah, you mentioned earlier, that tip he plays with on his cue, really overhanging the ferrule. Won't be everybody's choice.
Yeah, well, it must pass, that's for sure.
Yeah, tight, but you can see it does go. That was a nice previous shot from Steve. Hit in a really good position, and his reward for that, nice straightforward 8-ball. So, after playing one of the slowest, or two of the slowest frames we've seen in a while in their last match, Hitton and Steve off to a quicker start in this one. Not in the sense of it being their fault, of course, but just the way the balls went. Starting to all get a bit urgent for Liam and Scott here. They need to make something happen. Got to overturn a 2-0 deficit at worst if they're going to get anything out of this evening. Don't think the match permutations are going to feature very heavily in their minds, because really for them it's about getting out into this arena and just winning some frames. They'll probably be aware that they are in contention if they get a win here, but I don't think that's going to be foremost their concern. It's always the way when you come out and play in this kind of venue for the first time. Good players always play a few good shots along the way, but they always have a few that you just wish you could take again. You just think, if I had that chance of that evening, I'd just do a couple of things differently.
Yeah.
Almost a time foul, but did get that shot away in time. I've seen one time foul already this evening. It proved to be a costly one. Time yet for Liam, 11 minutes on the clock, plenty to win the 3 frames, but anything short of 3 frames isn't going to do it here. Draw is no good to either of these pairs.
Needs to hurry up.
It's exactly that kind of situation where the short shot clock is awkward, where you're in a kind of position you don't really want to go for it. There's a few options, there's a lot of balls left on the table. There's lots to think about.
Yeah, Steve doesn't need to rush this. He's happy for this kind of frame, that's for sure.
Open table still, nothing's been potted after the break, so players can go for either colour still. Hard to play a telling safety from where he was. I don't think Steve's going to deliberately play for a tactical frame as such, but as you say, he's not really under any pressure to go for anything if he doesn't fancy it.
Looks like he's taking this on though.
Oh, big shot.
He's been a little bit fortunate really tying them 2 reds up at the top of the table, because if he doesn't tie them up he leaves a good chance, but he has. And
yellows he can go after, or he can take on this long red to the top right.
It's a lovely part. Couldn't have landed much more awkward than that.
Now he's got two pairs of balls that are tied up and not really a plant to their obvious pocket. This is awkward because it's not very easy from where he is in to hide the cue ball. Well, he hasn't left an easy opener, which I guess was about as much as he could have asked for there. If Steve could get his hand on the table, he's got a good angle to pop the ball top right and screw into the cluster on the left-hand side. It's a much harder shot though, queuing over like this. Well, got the cannon almost right, but the pot just too much for him in the end. So just one problem remaining for Liam Fletcher. Got 3 loose reds, but he's got to find a way into the 2 at the top of the table. Decides to go for the defensive option. It's not a bad shot, you can understand that. Wants to just play himself into this frame.
Yeah, we heard his brother say there, just free them up and go for it next time. That's exactly what he has done. Not even really a simple safety here on for Steve. It doesn't need to be when you're potting them like that. Lovely pot, but not really done him a great deal of favours.
Well, the reds are going to have to come with another good pot because there's no obvious safety. Flash is just sitting there thinking, please just hang this ball over the pocket, give me another chance. He's played a good shot there. Well, this hasn't looked a very likely finish, but he's spotted the first 2 balls. It's pretty tight, this yellow past the red. Can just get it in.
Nice. He's landed absolutely perfect, you know. What a finish this will be. Takes these out.
Yeah, this has been something from Steve, hasn't it? It's one of those ones he kind of got forced into because this wasn't really a good safety, so shot after shot he's just had to keep coming with the big pots.
Well, if he gets these, it'll be finish of the night for me, this. Up against it, red's perfect. No, snatched at it a little bit there, Steve. Great finish up to that point, and that would have put the match probably out of contention.
You can see the pain look on Hidden's face. He knows how close that was to being a brilliant clearance.
Well, that's not a very good shot.
No, Liam Fletcher had a great chance there, and he's slipped straight out of position.
Got to be sure of this one now. No.
Not the first, and they won't be the last to find it difficult to play under the pressure. Until you do it, it's hard to explain what it's like in this arena in front of everyone. And it is the more experienced pair that get themselves onto the hill. Shame from Steve's point of view that he didn't get that clearance done at the first attempt, because it would have been a great finish. Well, I'll take that. How about that for a break? Didn't even seem to hit it that hard, but the ball's raining in the pockets.
Red's in it. Yeah. Yeah, it's
this shot is probably going to be the only one that could be missed in this frame. As long as he gets good position. Oh, well, unless that yellow gets in the way. Like I say, as long as he gets good position, it should be fairly straightforward from here.
Sorry.
It's been a very professional performance, this, from Hitton and Steve. Going to be disappointed after the way the last match ended, but they've regrouped in double quick time. They've played really well here.
Oh, lovely bit of green from it, man. A little bit unfortunate it's not the yellow in front of the red. Not what he wanted to see, but
It's like he's saying to Steve, I've knocked in a good long one, now you have a go. Just going to stun off the right hand side cushion. Well, opted to play it a bit slower. He'd have left a semi-difficult 8-ball even if he had potted the red. And this is absolute last chance stuff for the Fletcher brothers. There's been some good moments tonight, but if they want this journey to continue, they're going to have to fashion a clearance here. And they're going to have to do it quickly.
yeah, there's not really any time to think, as they've just got to get on with it. Go, go, go.
And from a neutral perspective, you'd certainly couldn't begrudge them clearance here. Oh, that's a good shot.
That's lovely. Perfect.
Natural angle to come down the table. Bit straighter than he
Straight there.
wanted.
Yeah, didn't want to come all the way down, did he? He wanted to leave an angle. Going to force us a little bit now with a bit of side.
Oh, good shot from Scott. Didn't want to leave his brother right on the rail, which is where he'd have been if he'd just rolled that ball in. Pressure though on this. Liam Fletcher to get their first frame on the board in this match. And it's wide. Always tough when you're 3-0 down in a must-win game. You see they were feeling the pressure. It wasn't the easiest of 8 balls either. So, decent positional shot from Hitton. Decides just to keep it simple, played off one cushion. Steve Singh for the win.
Lovely.
Good performance that from Steve and Hitton. Disappointing end to their previous match. They should have been in better contention had they got the draw there. The currently winless Gillespie brothers, Colin and Jimmy, take on the currently unbeaten Luke Gilbert and Dom Cooney in a match which does matter. Gilbert and Cooney currently sitting atop the table, but they are tied numerically with Hitton Patel and Steve Singh, so they need to get something out of this match to guarantee the group win. If the Gillespies were to win, it would go to a 6-red shootout between Luke and Dom and Hitton and Steve.
Red Bulls and white.
Luke and Dom have had to ride their luck on moments tonight, but have for the most part played pretty well, as you would expect.
Oh, what's happened there?
Wow. Everyone's seeing the play side of that one. So another look at this. Wow.
He's sort of concentrated that much on knocking the red to a potable position. He's missed the easiest of pots. Well, you have to laugh, I guess. They wouldn't be laughing at the end if the Gillespie brothers were to take this match, and especially if it was one in a decider or something, or by one frame, because this really should have been 1-0.
Yeah, you just don't want to get into these situations either, because although the Gillespies haven't looked like very likely tournament winners, they're clearly showing themselves capable of winning a few frames. So Luke and Dom will know that anything is possible. It's a slightly wayward shot. I'm trying to play the loss of turn, but it's by away. obviously got a little bit messed up in the process, but the reds are the better of the two colours. I won't see any more mistakes like that from Tom Cooney. Just missed that pot purely because he was focused on the position. Sometimes it is a bit of a warning shot as well. When you miss a very easy ball, it's just a reminder that you do need to keep absolute focus. Matches have fallen quite well for Luke and Dom. They had a tougher first round match against Liam and Scott Fletcher than maybe they were expecting, which then seemed to sort of warm them up. Won that important match against Hidden Patel and Steve Singh, who were their most likely challengers for this group, and then have got probably the easier of the draws for their final match. I still feel things could turn around there. Like, Colin and Jimmy have definitely shown moments that they are good players. It won't take a lot, they just have to get a couple of chances.
Sure. Boom.
Look at this break from Luke Gilbert. Gave that the full treatment. Look how straight he's hit it as well. The cue ball just tracking down the middle of the table. So playing a cannon on the red that's to the left-hand side of the table, partially blocking that yellow. Oh, that's a hockey. How has he found that angle? Wow, you could have foreseen that something might go wrong with the cannon, but to end up in the middle pocket from this angle is incredible.
You won't see that very often. He's as bemused as us.
Easier to see the funny side when you're 1-0 up than if that's the decider. It's a good chance for Jimmy Gillespie. Say on what we've seen so far, he's looked slightly the more assured of this pairing. The fact that he's been playing on the Challenger Tour as well means that he has had experience playing in ultimate pool match conditions, albeit not generally with the match and shot clock. Well, he's taking these nicely, and he's taking these quickly. Nicely done this from Jimmy Gillespie. Nice to take away something from the night. Good clearance, unexpected in off from Luke Gilbert, but steps up to the table in double quick time. It's going to be his last break of the evening. He would like to try and get something from it. More backspin on the break that time. The cue ball zipping up and down. Good split again. This is really last chance saloon stuff. If they could nick a frame here, anything is still possible. First glance, that doesn't seem to have come out great. May be able to get through to the ball to the top left. No, well, maybe not from that angle. And if he can't, there's no easy pot on. Can he just sneak this into the top right? Can. So he's still going. To have had an angle to screw across the face of the red at the bottom of the table. Didn't, so he's going to have to come back for it last. Purposefully leaving plenty of angle to make sure he comes down. That red only pots bottom left, so she needs to drift the cue ball off one cushion over to the right hand side of the table. Continue this running a bit.
Just needs to be careful he doesn't glance off the face of yellow and finally an off. It's a shame really, because would have been a nice finish that.
Yeah, just came up short on that positional shot. Straight on that red, it's unmissable and the position's straightforward. Just ended up quitting on that a bit because he was worried about the in off. Could have gone for a long pot, but didn't really need to risk it there, so he plays the percentage shot. Could this be Jimmy Gillespie's last shot of this event? Got to hit this red, and ideally he's got to pot this red.
Got it. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. But that should be the writing on the wall, I would have thought.
This is a nice position to find yourself in. Only 2 minutes 20 remaining on the match clock, so very likely you'd lose anyway, but more than enough time to clear up. The ball's at his mercy. And this is for the clean sweep. They haven't been pushed too hard in this final match of the night, but it's been a very professional performance from Dom and Luke. They've stuck at their task. Wanting to play this yellow long to guarantee a shot. Such a good long potter. Never seemed like that would be in any doubt, and it wasn't. So this 8-ball for Dom Cooney to complete a win over Colin Gillespie and Jimmy Gillespie, and to complete the clean sweep. Luke Gilbert and Dom Cooney go 3 from 3. They win this group. They will qualify for the last 16. Good solid performance. Wasn't always easy, but they did what they needed to.